Hi, it's Scott, ROCKFILE, back with another podcast review. This is my second review of Final Destination Bloodlines, but we're going to talk about the 4K mostly. If you want to hear my purely spoiler-free review, it's already up. When I got out of the theater and got home that night, I recorded one, and I stayed away from spoilers. I might drop a few spoilers, but you should have seen this by now if you're a fan. I'm a fan of the Final Destination movies. I've always thought the first one was the best. 2 and 3 were good. 4 and 5 were just by the numbers. I don't think they're terrible, but they don't pull you in with characters, story, or anything. It's just one interesting kill after another. It's kind of what happens to a lot of these slasher, killer, multiple number sequels. They just can't maintain or ratchet up that kind of tension and really good stories sometimes. And you can blame producers and movie studios too for not going the extra mile and doing a really good story. So when I saw Final Destination Bloodlines earlier this year in the theater, I really enjoyed it. I had recently rewatched the first 5 movies. I was totally up to speed, and I had little to no knowledge about what the movie was about. I knew it had something to do with Bloodlines and probably tied back into the original movie, but I didn't know how it would work or any of that kind of stuff. And I walked out pretty blown away. Well, the other night I pulled out the 4K. I bought the Steelbook the day I pre-ordered it when I walked out of the theater. That's what I do now because I'm not going to fight people for these Steelbooks or pay extravagant amounts for them on eBay later. And so I went ahead and ordered it because I just walked out of the theater and knew I wanted to watch it again. Now that I've watched it a second time, I will repeat what I said after seeing it in the movie. This is the best Final Destination movie, period. It is better than any of them. It's better than the first one. You can't have this one without the first one, so I still love the first one. But honestly, 2, 3, 4, and 5, not even close to this. And this is a better movie than the first one. Zach Lipovsky and Adam Stein directed it from a screenplay by Guy Busick. Produced by some of the original people, it's based on the characters by Jeffrey Riddick, as all of the movies are. Toby Emmerich was one of the producers on this. You got some minor stars, but Tony Todd makes an appearance. He's in most of the movies, and this was one of his final movie appearances. They let him ad-lib. It adds some weight to what he does. The movie had a $50 million budget, and so far it's grossed over $313 million. I think it's the biggest money maker of all of them, and obviously we're going to get more. What I liked about it is it's clever. We know what's going on. If you've seen the first 5 movies, you know. But they subvert expectations. You expect this thing to explode or do something, and then this thing does it. Or you're not expecting something and it happens. That's the best of the first 3 movies. From the car thing to the logs. They have their signature moments. Well, this one's chock full of signature moments. The beginning is a little bit longer than most of them, the setup. I think the first one probably had the longest setup where they're, getting on the plane, then getting off the plane, then the plane blows up, and then the movie begins. This one has a long prologue in the past, and then it turns out that's in somebody's dream, and that brings us up to modern times, and how does it all relate to her? It's a great mystery, it's a great story, and if it wasn't a Final Destination movie, it'd still be a decent movie. But because it is a Final Destination movie, they have taken great care on the kills, the death scenes, because it's kind of a Rube Goldberg matchbox, or not matchbox, mousetrap game. If you ever played that game, the marble has to hit this, knock this over, flip this around, go down this ramp kind of stuff. And there is a lot of that in all of the Final Destination movies, and even more of that here. But not to give anything away, but in the trailer we showed the guy with the piercings, and we think we know how he's going to die. Well, that's not how it happens in the movie. I mean, you see all the scenes that you've seen, but he gets out of it and maybe he dies a different way later. That kind of thing is what really made me respect the movie a second time, that I was still surprised by things even though I'd already seen the movie. I think everybody in the film does a great job. I mean, it's a Final Destination movie. I think the kills are not telegraphed like a lot of movies like this are, and the 4K was spectacular. The picture is great. It's almost perfect, like a modern movie should be. And it's in Dolby Atmos with Dolby Vision. Looks fantastic. Sounds fantastic. There's all sorts of directional stuff over your head, stuff behind you. Highest marks. It's not a 5 out of 5 movie. This is a Final Destination movie. But in the genre of Final Destination movies, this is the best one. I'd give it 4 stars easy, up to just about any horror movie I've seen this year. It was creative. It was intelligent. It was funny. you have to have a dark sense of humor to get in things like Evil Dead 2, right? I mean, that kind of changed the paradigm for horror movies. It added the comedy element. And there's a certain amount of comedy because some of these deaths are way over the top. Something rolls down, something hits something else, whatever. The scene with the dump truck, the garbage truck was pretty inventive. And there's times where they film something and you say, well, they're not going to show that or they're not going to do that. And they do. I think there needs to be more of those kind of surprises in movies. It's a little gory. There's a couple things that really, I mean, as gory as anything I've seen this year. But again, it's quick, it's well done, it's almost logical for most of it. There are a few that stretch credibility, but again, if death is some invisible force and you screwed death and not died when you're supposed to, then of course he's going to do all sorts of things that he can as an invisible force. He's not just going to come up and shoot you. That's not what death does in these films. I think the Tony Todd scene at the end is still as poignant as it ever was. Tony Todd was dying of cancer at the time, and they asked him to be in the movie. And during the final scenes, they said, just forget the script. Just tell us what you want to say. And what he leaves with, the comment about living your own life and not time, it goes faster. It's touching because not only did he pass away after that, but it's important to the movie, it's important to the character, and it's important to the actor. And it's just one of those things that they did in the movie. They didn't have to do. They didn't even have to put him in the movie. He's not in every single one, but it tied everything back together very, very well. And by the end of the movie, we're all tied back up and we can go forward. I think it is almost a perfect horror movie / almost comedy in the Final Destination franchise. It is the best one. So if you haven't picked it up yet, get the 4K. If you can still get the Steelbook, get the Steelbook. It's a nice design. I thought the cover was pretty good. Either way, you're getting perfect video, perfect sound, and a really fun horror movie if you like Final Destination movies. Again, it's not going to change your mind if you didn't like any of those movies before, but well, let me walk that back. This might. I watched it with someone who has seen Final Destination movies before, but not up to speed, not up to whatever. Totally had a blast with the film. Jumped in all the right places, screamed in all the right places, that kind of stuff. It was really fun to watch it with another human being. I think horror movies are better with other human beings. Go see them in the theaters if you can. It's a different experience. But long and the short of it is, Final Destination Bloodlines is my favorite of all the movies. It's the best of the movies. It's in 4K, Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision. A lot of fun. I don't think you could do any better on picking a movie like during the Halloween month to watch with friends, especially if everybody's seen the original movies. Final Destination Bloodlines gets one of my best horror movie reviews of the year on 4K and just for entertainment value alone. I hope you'll pick it up and check it out and let me know what you think of it. Scott, I'm ROCKFILE. More podcasts are on the way. Please like, share, and subscribing is very important. Have a spectacular day.